everyone. So I wanted to make this really quick video to kind of explain some things. It's been a while since I've uploaded any videos, and the videos that are going to be uploaded mainly from here on out are going to be um, like doll videos and like paranormal investigating um, and doing one doll at a time. And so I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit. Um, I collect dolls, as you can see behind me. I have them all over my room. Um, some of them are special. They have spirits attached to them, and the spirits use the dolls as vessels. So I kind of wanted to give a little bit of, you know, clarification and like what that means before I start posting videos of investigations. So I want to say first that I am not a professional paranormal investigator. This is just something that I truly enjoy. I like collecting spirited dolls and objects, and I like to, they are part of my family. So when I upload the videos, I want to make it very clear that I'm not a professional. I don't, do paranormal investigating as a job. It's not something that, I do all the time. So just keep that in mind when you see the videos that, my paranormal investigations will look nothing like the shows. Um, with that being said, I do use a variety of different tools. I use an EMF detector. So EMF is electromagnetic field, and spirits can use that device and make the lights light up by getting close to it, touching it, things like that. I also use motion censored. They're like little balls, and they're motion censored, and they're supposed to be cat toys. That's supposed to keep a cat active and playing with the balls. They light up. However, these balls are actually really great for paranormal investigation. If you put them down and you leave them, spirit can interact with these and they can make the balls light up. I also use a motion activated regular light. It's a white light. I'm sorry, somebody is backing up into the driveway. So if you can hear that, I apologize. Um, I also use an EVP recorder. And as far as the EVP recorder and how that will go with the videos, is I will have the EVP recorder recording while I'm doing the investigation and while I'm recording the video. If I find anything on the EVP recorder, there'll be a separate video for that because I'll have to sit and listen to the recording, and I don't want to do that in real time. I'd rather sit and be able to actually listen and take my time with it and really go through it. Excuse me. I also use a spirit box. A spirit box is a device that kind of scans through um, almost like radio stations, and it's like a white noise machine. And spirit can manipulate this device and they can speak through it. So I use that as well. I also use a flashlight that can, you turn the top to turn it on, and you can turn it to turn it off. And when you turn it, now I don't rely on the flashlight all that much because it's kind of a hit or miss. Sometimes it can turn on and it has nothing to do with spirit. It's just that, sometimes it's just at that spot where it turns on by itself because it's just right there. So I don't really so much rely on flashlight because that's for me, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like that's not a surefire way to say that the spirit is actually interacting with it, because it could be just a fluke thing with the flashlight. Um, I also have dowsing rods. I have a laser grid that I will probably use in some videos. So I just kind of wanted to go through some of the tools that I use. Um, Now, going forward, I will say if you don't like dolls, you know, don't watch the videos, because I'm going to be, each video will be a paranormal investigation of one doll at a time. Because I think that if we just kind of like, say, hey, we're going to talk to everybody, it can be chaotic. It can be complete mayhem where maybe they all don't want to talk, or maybe they all want to talk at once. So it's better to have it set up where I have it, the camera focused on one doll, and we speak with, that spirit, and, get information. And, I write down the information as I go. And, because it's important to me to have that information on hand with any information that the spirit gives me in regards to themselves. I like to get to know the spirits that are here. I like to make them feel welcome, make them feel part of the family, and I want them to be comfortable. For that reason, I don't particularly ask how a spirit has passed. That is just like, especially if it's a child, I really don't like to, because that can be a very traumatic event. And even though they aren't here in this earthly realm anymore, and even though they are spirit, it doesn't mean that still doesn't have an effect on them. And so therefore, I don't ask them that question, because I feel like it would be inappropriate for me. And even though out of curiosity, I would like to know, and, and unless the spirit gives up that information without me asking, then, that's one thing, but I won't ask how they passed. A lot of the spirits that I have here are children. There are some adults, there are some teens, there are some older children, but I have a lot of young children spirits here. And, I kind of wanted to go into, how spirits become attached to vessels. And so what usually ends up happening, and this is just in my experience, I am not a professional spirit talker. I'm not even a medium. I am sensitive to energy. I'm an empath, but I'm not a medium. I cannot have conversation with spirit without the tools. So I find that in a lot of cases that I've experienced, that spirits will oftentimes attach to a vessel if they are kind of lost and wandering. Some of them don't know that they've passed, and so they attach themselves to the thing that brought them a lot of joy in life. Just as like if you find a child carrying around their favorite baby doll all the time, they could essentially be doing the same thing in the spirit world, just being really close to this doll and attaching themselves to this doll. It was their favorite thing in life, and now you have an attachment to an object because that was just their favorite thing. Other times you may find, that some vessels, spirits are just attracted to it. Now, vessels don't have to be just dolls necessarily. They can be other objects as well. It could be an old jewelry box. It could be a new jewelry box. It could be, a music box. It could be, and anything really. It could be anything. It could be a pen. I mean, it really could be anything. And, I find for me that I enjoy collecting dolls. It's something that I truly love. I love, dolls in general, but just, having the knack for feeling the energy, being at a store and going through and feeling a pull towards a certain location in the store and seeing that there is a doll there. And knowing that I've gotten pulled there because they know that I can sense them and it's important for me to take them. But I will also say that spirits can also become attached to a vessel by invitation. And so you can have an empty vessel. I can take, for conversation's sake, I'll take, I'll take this. This is a music box, right? And it doesn't play any music while it's closed, but when you open it, it does. So I could take this and I could do a ritual and I can invite a spirit to attach itself to this, and this can be its vessel. So spirits can get invited, pulled into. I don't necessarily, and I just want to make this very clear before I say this, that I am not bashing anyone's practices, because I don't believe in that. But I will say that it is not my practice to invite spirits into an object for attachment. I collect things that already have an attachment. So, with that being said, this channel is going to take, a bit of a turn. I started off doing videos talking about witchcraft and paganism and spell work and, the days of the week and lunar magic and solar magic and things like that. And as much as that is still very much a part of my life, I wanted to share this because I feel like the spirit world is so often misunderstood. And there is so much fear that surrounds not only the spirit world and the supernatural, but dolls as well. There are a lot of people that are afraid of dolls, and even if the doll is not spirited, if it's just a regular old doll, people have a fear of that. And I thought it would be a good idea to not only showcase, my spirited dolls, to introduce people into the world of that spirits are just humans that have passed. They are just like us. They enjoy attention, they enjoy nurturing, they enjoy, conversation, they enjoy being recognized and validated. They enjoy compliments, and they like it when I put on their favorite music or a show from the 50s, or I do that sometimes where I'll put on YouTube, and I'll put on some really old music, so I do that for them. This makes them happy, so it was important for me to show that the very human side of spirit. And it was also important to me to showcase dolls in a positive way, to show people that, I'm not trying to force anybody over their fear, but maybe if someone were to watch the video and say, oh, that doll's really pretty, or, I never realized, how pretty it is. Just having like a different look on dolls than just being afraid of them. So the last thing I will talk about, because I do have one doll, and she is up on the top shelf. You can't really see her that much because she's like right behind that dream catcher. That doll does not contain a human spirit. It contains something else entirely. What that is, I don't know. So, it is not a human spirit. That doll in particular moves. She moves her head, depending on where I am in the room. She doesn't like move it like as I'm looking at her. But I will, be in my room and her head will be facing one way. I'll leave and I'll come back a few hours later, or I'll get ready to go to bed, and her head will be facing in another direction. She moves. She also moves her body, where her body leans in one direction, then it'll lean in the other direction a little bit. So her vessel does move, not off of the shelf, but she does move enough to say, hey, I know you noticed. So she has a different energy entirely. So she's going to be an interesting one to really take notes for, because I've done EVP work with her before when I first brought her in. I usually go through, every time I bring a new doll in, I see if it's spirited. I do, all the things, because sometimes they don't show you right away. Sometimes they might be afraid. Sometimes they're uncomfortable because they're in a new place. They don't know who I am. They don't know, who lives here. Maybe they're not a big fan of cats. Maybe they're afraid of cats. So there could be a lot of reasons why a vessel chooses to remain silent when they first get here, and that's okay. However, that doll in particular did let me know that there was something within the doll. However, when I asked the question, are you a human spirit that has passed? The answer was no. And so this is why I believe that this is not a human spirit. The activity with that doll is more physical than anything else. So the other dolls, they don't really move. Like I have activity in other ways. Things in the room, like we'll get cold chills. The lights will flicker sometimes. Things like that. They can manipulate the tools that I use, but their vessels don't necessarily move. That one though moves, and moves quite often, moves regularly, and isn't shy about showing me that they are here. Not negative though. I've had that doll for quite some time, and I have never ever once felt that I was in danger, or that I was going to be harmed, or any ill will was, going to be done to me. It's not a negative presence. It's just not human. So, and so I know that probably leaves a lot more questions, like, well, if it's not human, then what is it? And that's the thing, I don't know. And so, doing a deeper, further investigation might actually help gain some clarity on what type of energy resides within that doll. But I just kind of wanted to do this. This is supposed to be a quick video, but 17 minutes in, just about. Nothing I do is ever fast or quick. So, so I just wanted to share this video kind of as an introduction on to what's to come with the channel, and really just introducing the new content, and giving the fair warning that it is going to be focused on dolls and spirit activity. So if that does not interest you, or you are afraid of that of any kind, or in any way I should say, feel free to unsubscribe, unfollow, whatever it is, feel free, but I can only ask that you give it a chance, you give it a try, because I certainly don't want to perpetuate the idea that dolls should be feared, and that spirits should be feared, because human spirits, like I said before, and I'll say it again, and I cannot stress this enough, that they crave attention and love just like we do in this physical human form. They have passed on, they gain much clarity, the spirit world is a different place entirely, where if an infant passes away, they can pass on to the other side, but they can still communicate with you because it's different there. And so, but they are still of, they're still a little bit of human to them, because they want to be loved, they want to be nurtured, they want to be communicated with, they want to be treated with respect, they want to enjoy the things they enjoyed in life. And so I just kind of want to, share that experience with not just myself and my family, because we love to do that, and we love the interactions and the relationships that we build with these spirits, but we also want to share that experience with other people as well, so they can kind of see that there really isn't anything to be afraid of. Is that they are oftentimes misunderstood. So with that being said, I'm going to end this, what was supposed to be a short video and is not. So I will be posting a investigation that my husband and I did last night, but I wanted to post this video first. So on that note, I will see you guys later.